I'm Mark Ryan, this is Super Review, and this is gonna be a little bit of a different video. This is a video kind of about me, actually. This is a video about my biases, and it might shock you to hear that I have biases. But you know what? It's true. I'm biased in certain ways, and you know, I think you are too. I think, frankly, everybody has biases, and I don't think biases are necessarily a bad thing. I think it's just good to be aware of what they are. And if I'm honest, there are actually a couple of biases I've recently discovered about myself that I didn't realize I had until I sort of started doing this exercise, which you don't know what this is, but basically, okay, y'all know that for a while, for the past 6 months or so, I've been going through a home renovation. I haven't been in my house. Now I'm back home, recently reorganizing my IEM library and just kind of, I guess, realizing I've got way too many IEMs. I've got a lot of IEMs. I've got over 200 different pairs. And okay, I'm not trying to get rid of them, but I was thinking to myself, if I had to get rid of my IEMs and I had to reduce my collection from 200 down to just 5 IEMs, what would they be? And after just some, thinking about it, frankly, it didn't take me that long. The 5 IEMs I decided on were these 5 that you see here on this table. Now, these 5, what they are in particular, we'll go over them if you care. That's not actually really the point of this video, but what's the point was that there were certain things going into this exercise that I knew about myself, right? I know what my audio preferences are. I tend to like a neutral sound signature, maybe a little bit on the bright side, whatever. And I also know that I'm biased toward things that have a nice physical appearance to them, right? I like things that feel good in the hand, that look nice, things that I love as much physically as I do sound-wise. So those were kind of biases I knew going into this exercise, and I even used those to kind of like narrow down to my, top 10 initially. But there are a couple of other biases or a couple of other things, commonalities between these 5 IEMs that I did not realize going in, and that kind of only realized after the fact. And I thought it was interesting, and I thought it would be, I guess, worth doing this video and sharing, just so, again, we're all on the same page about what are my personal biases. You guys are listening to me talk about IEMs all the time. You should know. So, all right, so my biases are sound signature wise, my biases. Physical form factor, these are all gorgeous, beautiful, well-built IEMs. So that is maybe not okay, maybe this one's not so gorgeous, but it is well-built. Sorry, I digress a little bit. But the other things that stood out to me only after the fact, I think are really interesting. So for one, of these 5 IEMs, surprisingly, 4 of them are all balanced armature sets, okay? And what's interesting to me about that is that if you had asked me before doing this exercise, what is my favorite driver configuration? I would have told you that hybrid driver configuration is the best. And yet, of the 5 IEMs that I have here on the table, none of these are hybrids, which is interesting. It's interesting to me, at least. I don't know if it's interesting to you. I totally expected that, and I definitely did not expect that 5 or 4 of my 5 favorites would be all balanced armature sets, right? So over here, we've got the Symphonium Audio Meteor, 4 balanced armatures. Here we've got the Campfire Audio Aura, 5 balanced armatures. The 7th Acoustics Supernova, 6 balanced armatures. I didn't actually do this intentionally counting up, but here we've got the Moondrop S8, that's got 8 balanced armatures. And then here we've got the Sennheiser IE600. It's got 600 balanced armatures. No, that's not true. This one's actually a dynamic driver. This is the one exception to the balanced armature phenomenon that, again, I did not predict. But what is true about the IE600 that's also true about these that I would not have realized before, it's that all 5 of these sets are sets that I bought with my own money. And I mentioned I've got over 200 pairs of IEMs. A lot of those IEMs were sent to me for review. They were sent to me by manufacturers, by retailers, by people that are just, are there any that are just sent to me by people? I think there are. But yeah, there's a bunch of IEMs that I've been sent. And when I narrowed it down to my 5 favorite, subconsciously, definitely not consciously, I ended up with 5 of them that I have purchased with my own money. And to some degree, that's not super surprising as a bias, because I think that's true for a lot of people. I think, there are a lot of people, I guess, worried about, free gear being a thing that influences reviewers or influencers on the internet. And I think it is worth being concerned about that potential influence. But I think also very much worth being concerned about the influence of ownership. of going out and spending your own money on something and kind of having a little bit of extra skin in the game in terms of wanting that product to be good. Now, is that what is going on with my subconscious? Is that what influenced me to pick these 5? Possibly that's part of it. Possibly the reason that it's in common is just because I bought them because I thought I would like them, or I heard them. I don't know. It's just an interesting phenomenon nonetheless. In fact, of these 5, this is the only one that I blind bought. This one I had heard before buying. That one I heard before buying at CanJam. Or this one I heard via Theo from headphones.com. This one also I heard via, oh, actually all 3 of these I heard from Precog via headphones.com. So, yeah, I had heard them all, so I guess they weren't blind buys. But anyway, I don't know exactly where I'm going with this. And to be honest, like, that's kind of the point of the video. That's about it, is that I've got biases. Again, I think everybody's got biases, and I don't think that is necessarily a problem. I think it's just good that we all understand what our biases are. And I learned a couple of my own biases that I hadn't realized before. And maybe there's a good chance you didn't know those were true of me. So, well, there you go. Those are my biases. And if you've got your own biases, subconscious or otherwise, I'd be curious to hear about them. So leave those in the comments down below. But also, if you found this video interesting, please do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ding the YouTube bell, and I will catch you on the next super review. Cheers.